We begin to see this conclusive that he has, because he says, what? I'm calling the Gentiles to me. I'm calling them beloved. I'm calling them my children. And so now in verse 27, what happens is this. As he's calling in the Gentiles, we see that, remember we talked about that marriage feast, and there were some who were supposed to come invited, and they didn't come even though they had knowledge of this. And so what does the king of the feast do? He says, well, I want you to invite everyone else. And now they are invited, and they're a part of this feast. They're a part of the wedding of my son. And now we see in verse 27, he shifts from the Gentiles being included now to something incredible that we see what? Israel being rejected. And so when we look to this in this passage, I want to share with you just a couple of verses in the book of Isaiah. In Isaiah chapter 10, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to read from verse 20 through 22. Isaiah 10, 20 through 22. The reason I'm sharing this extra verse is this. It says this in Isaiah 10, verse 20, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, he talks about this small group, and such as have escaped the house of Jacob, will never again depend on him who defeated them. As we're looking about this, he says, listen, I'm not going to ever depend upon anything else other than what? Other than God. But he says this, I'm not going to depend on him who defeated me. I'm not going to depend on those that have struck me down, but will depend on the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. The remnant will return, the remnant of Jacob, to the mighty God. And so we recognize that before he says in verse 22, for though your people Israel are the sand of the sea, a remnant will return. He gives them this promise that what? As you have been looking to strengths outside of me, those strengths have not helped you. Don't depend on them. Now, what are they doing? They're thinking about a strength as far as what? Hey, I'm part of Abraham. I'm one of his descendants. Don't count on that strength. Count on God.